In our experience, we've done both. They're more active in the day, which makes sense. The day is it could be more productive. You could see exactly what you're dealing with, what you want to forage for. In this case, they like constructing shelters. You gotta be able to see. Um, the main reason we started doing the night excursions too was I had the full intent on to prove if the red eye shine is politically correct for a Sasquatch. Okay, and I think we've already proven yes, they do have it. And I'm going to tell you something. And when we filmed that, when did we do that? G, about 8 months ago.
Yeah.
When that was filmed right over there. And of course, of course, at night, that's twice out of all the years I've been doing this that I have actually seen red eye shine coming directly from a Sasquatch. And I told you I've been at this for a whole long time. I wanted to know if, in fact, if it was truth or just fiction. I know now because I actually experienced it. It is a fact. It is a fact. Yes, they do have red eye shine. There's no quabbles about that one. So, but still, the fact is, day's more active. Hope I answered your questions, Dwayne. And then I have one from Diane. Diane, she asks, being out in the woods, doing all this studying, and with all you have found, doesn't it make you want to go out every day and search more? Well, Diane, actually, that's about what we do. Me and Garland, we're lucky enough. We're lucky enough with those kind of researchers that we can spend all the time we need to do our research. We don't have a problem with that. We name our own time, and we don't have to answer to nobody. And to be frank, if you're going to do this particular type of research, and especially if you're really going to plant both your feet in it and dive into it deep, and that's basically what we've done. Which is the only way you're really going to uncover the real kind of evidence you're really looking for. So yes, Diane, every chance we get, me and G's up here, believe me, and we're probably one of the only kind of researchers probably in the country that we research all year round. All year round. I don't believe that it's a season for it. That's a bunch of baloney. These guys are just like us because they're part human too. And they're pretty busy. They're pretty busy. So yeah. So yeah, we get up here whenever we can, which is about all the time. And I hope that answered it for you, Diane. Now, there was somebody else, and I can't remember his name. And I was asked, and you might remember if what I'm going to say if I got the question correct, how it was asked to me. So whatever viewer this came from, you would know what you asked. This would be you. It kind of went like Dan and Garland. What was the closest you have ever been to a Sasquatch? Now that is a hell of a good question. Let me tell you. Okay. Out of all the sightings we have experienced, and we've experienced quite a few of them. I kind of thought about that one, and I broke it down to three Pacific ones. Okay? You know, what I'm going to do, each short segment I'll explain to you, each one will bring that squatch closer and closer to us. Okay? Let me start off with I'll start off with, we'll start off with the first one. Okay? Now, the first one, we were down in one of our other activity areas, which is about 40 miles from here. And in order to get to this area, you got to go down a canyon. And it's about, what is that? What is it, G? Drops down about 200-300 feet?
Yeah, it's down there.
It goes down about 200-300 feet. That's straight down. And when you get to the bottom of it, the base, there's a creek. There's an all year round flowing creek down there. A couple years ago, and we were going there to do some research. And when we got to the bottom, we weren't there probably about, what do you think, about maybe 10 minutes? 10, 15 minutes?
About 15. It was short.
And then all of a sudden, to our left, we both observed a male Sasquatch, and he was coming down the canyon. He was just strolling down it, like it was no big deal. It was a male, and he was singular, so I took him as a rogue male. I see no other ones around. It was just him. He was over 8 feet in height, all covered in dark hair, all except for the face. This part of the face had no kind of hair at all. Bottom of the feet bare, palm of the hands bare. Anyway, he was about 8.5 feet tall. I'd say a minimum about 600 pounds. And we observed this for about 10 to 12 minutes. And the whole time period, 10 to 12 minutes, that includes him actually coming down the canyon, and he went behind this foliage thicket. And at that point, he kind of went into a half squat, and he kind of came up a little bit, and he shot his arms up like this, where you could see the shoulders, biceps, forearms, all the way up to the hands. You could see thumbs and forefingers. Correct, G?
Yes, sir. Plain as day.
Now, and that was approximately the closest part of that excursion. The closest he was to us at that point was about 60 feet. Okay? That was 60 feet. This was in the daytime. I believe it was in somewhere in September, late September, and then the guy, he just disappeared. And to this day, we're still totally baffled how he just evaded us like that. I mean, he just flat out evaded us. We also studied him with binoculars. I had mine, Garland had his, and I'm telling you, it was a hell of an experience. Now that was about 60 feet away. Now I'm going to bring you a little closer. This is a good one here. About 2 years ago, we were in another one of our activity areas, which is about another 30, 40 miles from here. And we tracked for quite a while. I mean, this went on for months and months, okay? We finally got into this one area where there was a small group of rogue males, okay? about 3 or 4 of them. And I was doing some extensive wood knocking. And I was doing this with them. We were doing this with them for, weeks, right, G?
Yep.
Do for weeks. We'd go up there and spend, a lot of time up there, and I got to the point where we would actually start communicating back and forth by wood knocking. Now, one particular time we were up there, I started wood knocking. They were wood knocking back, and you could tell the members, you see, because the wood knocking would come from this direction, then that direction, then from behind, then in front. It finally got to the point, I turned around, I looked at Garland, and I said, we're surrounded. And we actually were surrounded. We had one to the front of us, one to the rear of us, one to the left flank, one on the right flank. So, and they will do this. They will surround you. Now, the eerie part is, you could hear them, but you can't see them. But you know they're there. Garland says, how are we going to get out of this one? I said, well, that's a good question. I said, the best thing to do, we'll just turn around and go back where we came from. That way, we don't appear to be any kind of a threat. I think it got to a point they were really checking us out really good, not really sure with themselves if we were a threat or not. So we decided it was time just to bug out. So we bugged out. So then when they kind of just left us alone for a few, and we just went our merry way. But then after that, probably about 5 minutes goes by, and then we knew there was 2 of them. There was one walking to our left, on our left flank, one was on our right flank. And it's basically, they're escorting you out, is what they're doing. They're making sure that you're leaving. So when we just got to the area where we're ready to leave. And so me and Garland, we decided to go ahead and take a rest. So we took a quick little break. Drink a little water, catch a breath. Well, about that time, let's say I went like this, and I walked on over, and like you see these thickets right through back in there, there was actually a whole wall that came like this down that trail, came across, and it was probably about 3 to 4 feet in depth. Okay, it was like a thick hedge wall. Okay, and it was just all manzanita and thick foliage, and behind all that pines. If you could picture how I'm saying it. Anyway, so I walked up, and I walked up to the hedge wall. I don't know why I did this. Garland even asked, even up today, he asked me why I did that. And what I did is I went down like this, and I kind of went into a half squat, and I was peering through the cracks in the hedge wall. Well, apparently when I did that, I made eye contact with a squatch on the other side of that wall. I didn't know he was there. Well, needless to say, when we met with eye contact, oh, hell broke loose. That whole wall, I mean, I'm not kidding you, it literally, man, I can't explain it. It's like it went like this. It just pushed out like it was going to explode. I jumped back probably about 10 feet. Garland probably jumped back about 10 feet. Then it went back. I could hear like some deep grumbling noise, like deep grunts and heavy breathing. I know it was by Pete because I could hear it back off 2 steps, pop, pop. Then it came forward again and it hit that wall again. The second time it hit the wall, I thought it was coming through. Didn't you, G?
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell me it didn't scare the hell out of you.
Oh, that's why the rifle was on it.
And when it hit that second time, I'll tell you what, I had this 45 out, and it was just like that. that quick. I could draw this puppy awfully fast. And it stopped. It just stopped. Then it was silence. The only thing we could hear was our heart beating.
That's it.
That was it. Then I could hear it walk off. It walked off. I could hear thump, 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 thump. On 2 feet, not 4. Now, if you wanna take account on how close that was to me, well, the only thing that was separating me and that squatch was what? 3 to 4 feet of depth of that hedge wall. That's like that, guys. That's pretty close, ain't it? Now, the last one. This is a good one here. Now the last one. The last one, that would have been, let's see, about 1.5 years ago? Sound right?
Yeah, which one? There's been so many.
It's the one that, over at Back Fins.
Oh.
We had to go back in there about 10, 15 miles. About 1.5 years ago. Okay. We were doing a night excursion. Okay. Now, this was the first and last time up to date that I have ever had a Sasquatch this close to me. Period. We were in this one area that we use like a home base camp. And that night, that particular night, I believe it was late August. There was no moon that night. It was just pitch black. And our campfire burned out. And we were camped out. We were camped out in the back of the rig. Okay. Which we have like glass windows on the sides, so you get for observation. And we're laying down there back there. And then, it was pretty dead for quite a while. And what we do when we do these kind of night excursions, see, because we don't sleep, we're up all night. That's the only way you're gonna really grab any kind of evidence or whatever sounds or vocalizations you hear, anything. You've got to be awake and aware of what's going on in order to conduct that kind of research. So we don't sleep at night. Okay, we're up all night.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
You know,
Especially that night.
Yeah.
So I would, about this point in time, it's probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, it was dead. Now all of a sudden, I kind of hear something moving outside the vehicle to my left, and I'm on the left side. Garden was on the right. And I'm just laying, so I'm laying on my back like this. And there's a glass window about right here, okay? Just inches away from my head. And I'm laying down like this. And what we do too is I'll crank the windows down about like, so you get some fresh air in there. And plus so you could hear. And so I'm laying there like this. And I kid you not, it was about between 2 and 3 in the morning at this point. I started getting this heavy breathing in my ear. And I'm talking heavy breathing I ain't never heard before in my life. And it sounded human. At first I thought it was Garland. I looked over at him. I tried to wake him up. He was out.
Chilly night, had to have some brandy.
Yeah, thanks a lot, pal. Left me all alone. So, anyway, Garland was out like a light. I watched him. The breathing wasn't coming from him. I laid back down on my back again. Then the breathing started again. But this time it was more intense. It was just a deep, gruntle type breathing, kind of like, see if I can try to imitate it. It was kind of like, it was like that, and probably a little more intense, a little throatier, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting here like this. I know it ain't G. I know there was nothing else out there. And I know it wasn't no damn bear, because bears don't sound like that. And all of a sudden I kind of turned my head like that, see, so I could kind of view out the window, but it was so pitch black I couldn't see nothing. And that breathing got more intense. It got kind of freaky. So I don't know, you know, something bad could have went down. I didn't want to, how you say, be caught with my pants down, so to speak. So what I did is I grabbed my .45 and I took it and I laid it right on my chest. Let me tell you something, brother. It was ready to go off too. I figured if it came through that window, all I had to do was this, pop, pop, which I didn't want to happen. So if I'm laying there with a loaded .45 on my chest, that's got to tell you there was something on the other side of that glass window. Believe you me. And about that time, the breathing quit. Now, when the breathing quit, I didn't hear a sound probably for about, I didn't hear anything for, I would say probably about a good, I'd say 30, 40 seconds. Then all of a sudden, the whole front of my car went down to the ground and then popped back up. And then I heard like a thump, thump, thump. And everything went quiet. Then it was over. I woke Garland up. He finally woke up because he wanted to know. He goes, "What the hell was that?" That's what woke Garland up. I says, well, I explained everything to him. We got out with our flashlights just before the sun came up. We were checking everything out, see what was going on around the vehicle. And we didn't really find nothing. So as we broke camp and we're all loaded up, ready to go, and all of a sudden we were right in front of my car, and guess what was there? 2 big dents right on the hood of my car. Because what he did is he went like this. They were prints of a palm of a hand. And they were just like this on the hood of my car. That's where he pushed down and released himself back from the car. That's why the car went down and bounced up. Then he took off. So, that is the closest we've been. I took you from 60 feet. Then we went to 3 to 4 feet, and that, my friends, I would say, gets the cigar. That gets the grand prize there, because you're talking about inches. Okay? Now, it's about all I got to tell you right now. So, hey guys, we got to get back to work, okay? I just wanted to take you out, show you what was going on up here, and let you know that we're continuing on with our research as usual. We're going to go ahead and take care of the rest of this, so until next time, you guys take care. Hope you enjoy this video. Anything else good comes up, you know we'll get it on video. So, for me and Garland, I gotta go. What do you gotta do, Garland?
See you later.
Guys, take care. Adios.